This is the new Abarth Punto, the first car from Fiat's reborn hot hatch range. We've got the standard 155 brake horsepower car here today, and it looks like absolute business. But is it worthy of the iconic Abarth brand? And more importantly, can it outgun its rivals? Fiat is desperate for the Abarth brand to have its own strong identity, and to that end you won't find a Fiat badge anywhere on this high-performance Abarth. There's an Abarth logo at the front, deeper and lower bumpers, 16-inch grey alloy wheels with Brembo brakes, red calipers behind them, you won't find those on a standard Punto, and Pirelli Zero Nero tyres. It's nice white bodywork with red wing mirrors here and sports stripes, Abarth written down the side, and just for good measure, another Abarth badge plonked on the rear haunches here. What Fiat is trying to say, and what Abarth is trying to say, is that this is more than a souped-up Punto. Okay, so now we're doing the important bit, actually driving the Abarth Punto. First impressions? Well, it's a really cheeky little hot hatch with this really enthusiastic 1.4 litre engine. 155 horsepower, as I said, revs to 6,500 RPM, and it's got 152 pound-foot of torque. But there's this sports overboost button, which boosted the torque up to about 170 pound-foot at around 3,000 RPM. It loves to be revved though, encourages you to push it harder, really good fun, just sort of fizzes along down the road. In fact, it feels like an old school hot hatch from about 15 years ago. It's great stuff. I reckon, even though this is the 155 horsepower version and not the 180 SS model, still loads of fun, 8 out of 10 for performance. The people at Abarth have really got the handling of this Punto spot on. It is an absolute riot when you chuck it at corners. It's got loads of grip, turns in nicely, understeers safely if you push too hard. Speaking of which, the ESP can't be completely disengaged, but let's not be macho about this. You can still move it about a bit on the throttle. It's still lots of fun. In fact, any keen driver is going to find driving this car an absolute hoot. The only thing that lets it down, though, is this steering. Compared with something like a Renault Clio 197 Cup, it's really woolly, not very precise. It's a bit of a shame, but you'd still give, I mean, the fun factor of this car is incredible. You'd still give it 9 out of 10. We first drove this Abarth at its launch in Italy on a racetrack, so one of the big uncertainties was how well it would handle Britain's rutted and bumpy and cut-up roads. The answer is very for such a stiffly sprung and firm hot hatchback. It's actually very comfortable. We're bumbling on a sort of 60 miles an hour at the moment, and it's very good indeed. It's very impressive actually. It's one of the best riding hot hatchbacks on the market. So what's it like inside the new Abarth's cabin? Well, it's got loads of nice touches that make the driver feel quite special. Sporty stuff like this leather mounted handbrake with red stitching, the same again on the gear knob. You've got the Abarth badge, of course, it's not a Fiat, remember that. More leather, red stitching, comfortable bucket, deep set seats, and really sporty dials as well with a turbo boost gauge, so you can keep an eye on that overboost feature if you press your sport boost button. The result is a more upmarket cabin than you would expect from a car of this price. This new Abarth is exactly what the brand should be about. It's fun to drive, full of character, and it's affordable. This car starts at 13.5 grand. So are we glad that Fiat resurrected Abarth? Absolutely. Let's just hope there's more cars like this to come.